And away we go.
Things are getting interesting in Washington.
Yes, as of this recording, the night's the night.
No, I mean there's something. Democrats are up to something in the White House.
Oh yeah, that too.
They're like
What's-
building structures and that. I think they're going to let Trump win, right? But they're going to start boarding up structures and that. And I think they're going to literally just plunge the country into civil war.
So, today is election day.
Yes. Did you hear about the weird shit that they're doing in Washington D.C.? They're building structures and that.
Yeah, the building metal
And
fences
tradesmen
to like.
supposedly are being called, and
Yeah, I really do think that they're up to
they're
something.
up to something.
Yeah. Which is why,
People suspect. Did you hear the video that I sent in? Right, the guy basically says that they think they're going to let Trump win, right, and they're just going to the people that are really in power, right, they're going to fucking murder the bloke. They're going to send the people. I'm talking Pritzker. I'm talking about the very powerful Democrats, right? People that really run the show, right? The very wealthy, right? They're not going to allow him in. They're going to murder him.
man, I'm not gonna lie. If my father was in office, bro, and they murdered him, I'd have to. No.
Yeah. In fact, yeah. Trump they'll probably murder him. Like they've assassinated. They attempted. They took pot shots, right? They weren't serious, right? They took pot shots. They weren't really serious. Trump needs to literally, if he does win, Trump needs to hide. He needs to wait until he gets inaugurated. He needs to take his time. He cannot go out in public. Should go out in public because they will probably attack. They'll use it as an opportunity to go after the guy.
I can honestly see that. Really, I mean, I
can
just
see that happening. This is not far fetched because let's be real here. They've already taken shots at the bloke. They've done everything. You know this. You know this from experience, right? If they go after you, they try and bankrupt you, and then they try and kill you. Everything they did to Andrew Tate. They tried blaming him some false charges. That didn't work. They tried to put him in jail. That didn't work. They tried to kill the bloke. That didn't work.
I feel like to an extent, Andrew Tate was scared straight a bit. He was a bit. Let's be honest.
He was scared straight. To the point where he literally shut. He's kind of now liberal to the point where he doesn't talk about certain things.
Like he talked. Yeah, like I mean, he just talks about certain things, but it's like
Yeah,
I don't
he realized I don't want to die over this.
Yeah, it's like I mean,
I don't blame the bloke. He doesn't want to die. He's got kids. He wants to just He wants to live on the yachts, right? They're still going to put him in prison. No, they're still going to do that, right? They're going to still seize his assets, right? There are serious consequences if Kamala wins. World War III. One. Number two, Musk is effectively Tesla as a company is effectively done. They're going to fucking force the guy to fucking relinquish control of Tesla, SpaceX, and all that stuff. All those companies will get nationalized. They're going to seize them, and they'll use that as a threat. If you fucking try and do anything like this again to any of these Republican billionaires, they are going to fucking push that narrative. You even fucking try and do anything, we'll fucking do exactly what we did to Elon. To you. That is their message. If she gets in, she will fucking rindle that guy. The EU's already claiming he's number 2.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna do a lot, and personally, like my family just voted for Kamala today, and I'm like,
you're gonna realize that she'll regret it. I can guarantee it. If Trump, she's willing to kill people. She might not want to stay in. She might power, right? But those people, we're not. I'm not talking local people. I'm not talking big. I'm talking billionaires. I'm talking people. I'm talking the very powerful people in Hollywood. I'm talking the very powerful people. I'm talking about the people that really run the show. She might not want to run there, but they're going to fucking force her.
yeah,
I'm
she
talking
ain't got.
about the people that are very powerful. I'm not talking about I'm not playing games here. I'm talking about the real people in power, the real people that really run the show.
Yeah, because Kamala has no power.
They are going to force her there. They are going to probably declare martial law. They're going to instill her as president, even though she didn't get in president. And then they're going to fucking make the narrative, oh, she won, when she didn't. They don't care. They don't care if she was a democratically elected. To them, she's the person that they want because she's the person that'll do exactly what they say. She won't question. Why are you spending money on this? She won't question. She'll just be a little puppet and a slave. She's the one. That's all her role is. she's a little puppet. She'll follow exactly what they want her to do. No questions, no asks. You got to realize all the countries are being controlled by the West and foreign adversaries, foreign powers.
Honestly speaking, I'm gonna be real. Even if Trump does get in, bro, it's just
it won't be that bit. It won't be that great. It'll still have problems, but it might actually stop us from going to World War III.
It'll briefly stop the bleeding, but the bleeding won't stop.
No. But again, we need someone that can balance the ship right now. America needs someone that can balance the ship. The West, needs someone that can balance the ship. Maybe Elon can reduce the deficit. Maybe he can reduce taxes. Maybe he can get rid of weird, massive expenditures, and maybe he can lower the deficit and lower the taxes. And maybe he can make America more affordable and get rid of the debt. Maybe he can stop the bleeding for a bit. I don't expect a miracle here, right? But I'm hoping to hell that he can keep Starmer in check. We're all hoping that he can keep this bloke in check. Because if not, things will only get worse. And I know he's controlled opposition to a certain extent.
Yeah, a bunch of immigrants are going to come into the... I'll be honest, you know what I've been hearing?
But I do honestly think that he will literally... But it's your choice. Do you want to live in a government where you have free speech and people, or do you want to live in a government where the government's going to effectively make you a one-party state? What the Democrats are doing is they're flying illegals into fucking... What are they? Like, they're freaking the swing states, right?
Right, yeah.
They're swinging these people into swing states, right? They're trying... You know what? California's permanently blue, right? They're planning on doing that to every single fucking state.
Yeah,
Yeah. So do you want to see a state like New York or California at all other states like New York and California? That's what's going to happen.
I'll be honest, I think the reason why people enjoy politics so much is because there's like a challenge between the two parties. So I
like it because it actually affects my life. If people say, "Oh, but it doesn't affect me," It does. These idiots declare prices. It's been fucking proven that they affect them, right? It's been fucking proven. The farmers, you were underneath. Eric, this is the new law that they're trying to pass in the UK, right? Farmer legislation, right? So if you want a family farm, right? Most farms are probably going to have assets of £1 million, right? Or $1 million, right?
Right.
You effectively have to pay 20% tax on that. Assuming if you're a parent of the person that has inheritance tax. These people invest most of their money back into the farm. How the fuck are they going to afford that? Or any of that money, realistically, right? I'm not talking about the everyday farmer. I'm not talking about the multi-millionaire, right? I'm talking about the everyday farmer, right? I'm talking about the small farms, right? How are they going to afford that? That's going to lead to a lot of farms becoming owned by corporations. We don't want that. We need more farms owned by families. We don't need more corporations owning farmland. We don't need big agri and big food having a bigger monopoly than they already do.
We're glad my family doesn't have to deal with that.
Your family is going to have to deal with that.
No, I mean, I have family in Brazil that runs a farm there, but they don't have the same regulations as the UK does.
Not for now, but they will. All the companies, I wouldn't be surprised if the freaking socialist government in Brazil wants to do that. Brazil is coming to, but might even be more socialist than us. Not to mention, did you hear? Oh, we're going to take away his privileges. E.g., we're going to stop him from being able to tell you the truth because we don't want them being able to criticize us. Another thing from Kamala. It is what it is.
Yeah,
do you think
it was what it was.
New York will be blue? Where do you think New York will turn? Do you think there's enough people that in New York that will actually turn the state red, or do you think it's a foolish attempt?
It's not enough.
Definitely not enough.
I hunch it would be.
Yeah, I don't believe it's. I'll be honest. I don't believe it's enough. There, there are some people who are red here, but there are also most people who are blue. So I don't really think it's enough.
There's a lot of Democrats here, though, normal Democrats, right? But want change. There's tons of them that voted that, if I remember correctly. Not all of them. There's a lot. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah.
If it needs change, I can see if Trump gets in, I can see us joining the states. If Kamala's in, I don't really want to talk about joining. I hope Trump gets. But I know it's not just an election; it's something more stuff.
It's chapters in our lives.
No, it's not. It's the fact that literally there's higher things being played here, higher play games here being played. Things that we cannot possibly understand. People think, why would you care? Every day people just think, it's just election on election. The vast majority don't realise if he doesn't get elected, we are effectively in a World War III situation here. Hungary wants, a lot of people in Europe want him elected because he's only thing that I suspect can probably stop us from going to total annihilation. I don't suspect we can lose. I don't suspect we would win in a war against Russia, right, or China, or India. I don't think we're that powerful. Do you think we could possibly win a war against China,
No.
India, or Russia?
No.
I don't think we could, and I'm not willing to take a calculated bet on that. But our neocon overlords would wish to. I don't see how we'd win in that situation. I think we'd lose. If I'm being honest with you, we haven't got the side of Malaysia, and the way things are siding with it, it looks like Malaysia would probably side with Russia and with BRICS.
Yeah, they would.
And India would probably side with them as well. Egypt would probably side with them. Saudi Arabia would side with them. The UAE would side with them. You've got most of the fucking world population on them, right? They just sheer outnumber us, population. So why the fuck would you do that?
Especially with the new BRICS currency. That's going to change the financial game all completely.
Did you hear about that Starmer wants to roll out social, basically IDs and that?
What kind of IDs?
The ones where you effectively, if you want to participate in society, type of IDs.
Oh, a digital ID.
Yes.
Participate in society, like buy things?
E.g. WEF. Similar to China, effect social credit scores. It's not publicly known. I don't think it's widely spread known, but it is on the.
It's in conversations, yeah.
In conversations, effectively, it was in news articles, some news articles, right? But let's be real here. They're not going to. It's not been heavily pushed to the media yet, but it's in articles I saw on X, and I wouldn't surprise me if that actually is true. Because let's be real here. Starmer works for the WEF. The conservative leader also works for the WEF as well. The new conservative one. Yeah, he's WEF as well. Graham Shapps is another WEF member. They'll be attending the WEF conference, whenever it is. I'm still skeptical of Trump, but I do think he's probably the better option right now. Skeptical of him, but I'd rather pick him than vote a fucking communist. At least with him, you've got a chance of elections. I also wouldn't be surprised if they make a kingdom. America becomes a kingdom. I can see it.
Interesting.
So what else is there? So what states do you think will go to Republicans?
Well, let's just get the obvious ones out of the way.
Florida.
Ohio, West Virginia. Did I mention Arkansas?
No, you didn't do that. No, you haven't missed. Pennsylvania.
Missouri.
Arizona.
Yes, Missouri.
Arizona vote for him as well.
Yes, just a close margin. But
Pennsylvania will probably vote for him as well because 180% 180 freaking Amish.
Yeah, Pennsylvania is very, very tight.
But he's got the Amish vote, which last time it was only down to about 20k people, right? And that's 180 or 140 people.
But the thing is, how many Amish?
There's a massive push for registration with the Amish. I think a lot of them voted. A lot of them registered. I think we've got a decent amount of them. There's a guy heavily pushing the Amish to vote this entire campaign. So what states do you think possibly might go to Trump?
Okay.
Do you think Michigan possibly might go to Trump?
No.
I think it might. I think they're heavily campaigned there. What other ones are likely to go to Trump?
Close margin, Nevada is possible to go to Trump.
What swing states are possibly to go to Trump?
Nevada, Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia.
Okay. So which ones does he need to win the election?
The most important state is the Rust Belt, but specifically Pennsylvania, because
I think he's got a heavily thing. I think he'll heavily get the Rust Belt. I think he'll heavily get Pennsylvania. My eyes are open. He'll get Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's possible to get Wyoming, I mean Wisconsin, even though pollsters saying it could go to Democrats. However, in the past, pollsters have downplayed or
They've
underestimated
always
Republican
downplayed
support
Trump's
in the
thingy.
state.
They've always downplayed Trump, so I wouldn't take the
No,
pollsters at their word.
what I'm saying is pollsters have underestimated Republican support in Wisconsin. So whatever is going to Democrats, it's more so towards Republican. So it's possible Trump could get Wisconsin, but it's very tight, like all the other swing
So
states.
what states does Kamala need to get to win? So the states he's got now, what states does Kamala have to get to win?
Okay, for both candidates, if they get all of the Rust Belt but none of the Sun Belts, that is enough to win. So forget Nevada, forget Arizona, forget Georgia or North Carolina. If you only get Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, those are the three states that it takes for either Kamala or Donald Trump to win the entire election.
Well, he's getting Georgia. What about Hawaii?
Now, Hawaii is a Democrat stronghold.
But there is a lot of people. But let's be real here. He could capitalize. Trump should have capitalized on that. Let's be real here. Hawaiian people were so pissed off of Biden fucking abandoning
Yes,
them. He should have
yeah.
capitalized
However,
on that.
yeah, it is possible he could have done that, but
What about
the
Ohio?
Ohio,
He's going to
yeah,
heavily get
yeah.
that one.
Look,
Ohio is very
Trump
Republican.
Trump is hands down getting Ohio for sure.
Obama's another one. Mississippi is another one as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the votes on these guys right now? What states are they? Has any state been confirmed yet?
No, I don't think the polling stations in the East Coast have closed yet.
And they probably won't be closing until tomorrow. They probably won't get answers for 3 days, which I think is ridiculous. And it should be a day. Like, why the hell do you need 3 days? You should only need one. With paper ballots, it's ridiculous. I wonder how doing elections would be, especially if you were doing it if the UK were to join the States.
Well, that is going to take quite a while.
Why couldn't we?
Because the thing is, the time difference between the UK and the US East Coast is 5 hours.
Well, the states are like massive. What's the difference between Hawaii and America?
Well, although Hawaii is a US state, it's in a completely different time zone. Same with Alaska.
Same with ours, though.
Yes, but the thing is, Alaska and Hawaii's time zones are a lot closer to the integral United States than the UK is.
I still think the UK will join America at some point. I can also see Canada join as well.
It'll be a while, but it'll be interesting to see.
The state that Britain is in now, I can see us joining before the next 4 or 5 years. Especially if Trump gets in. If Trump doesn't get in, I can't see it. I think there'll be a push for it, right? Especially if there's going to be World War III, right? They're going to unite all the English-speaking countries into one country so they can fight.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not really cool,
but it's something.
Yeah. So what else is there?
Let's see. The US national debt will be $50 trillion in 2028 at current rates.
Fuck. If Elon doesn't fucking... Let's hope that Elon, they get in. Kamala hasn't got fucking... How is she going to fucking deal with Xi and Putin? And how is she going to deal with the debt? She hasn't even got Scooby yet, alright? You haven't got a plan.
Well, the same team that's helping with her campaign could do the work for her.
You think those people are going to be useful for anything? A bunch of fucking talking head useless twats. They know nothing. They don't know how to run a country. They don't know how to run shit. God help America if he doesn't get elected. God help the collective West. In favor of... If Trump doesn't get elected, don't be surprised if the South secedes or they seek independence to build their own country. What do you think the likely chances are that America becomes their own? That America breaks in two?
It's quite a stretch.
You don't think America would break in two after all the shit show that could put through?
Nah, it won't be enough. There's going to be outrage, but it won't be enough.
I think Texas is at the stretching point where they think they'd be interested in seceding, becoming their own nation. Texas has been on for it for a while.
All right, if Trump gets in, you know what I'm looking forward to? Him removing the fluoride from the water.
I'm looking forward to them fucking fixing the fucking food in America, man. That's what I'm interested in. RFK Jr. is a fucking godsend, man. He's gonna fucking make this country good. He's one of the things I'm liking, right? Faithy always complains about all the food and it should be healthier, right? Yeah, she's voting for the fucking. Oh, he's gonna protect our rights. He's gonna protect our.
Abortion is not a right, but
It's not a right. I'm sorry, but it's not a right to kill your child.
it's really not.
And let's be real here. Like, look, she wants all these people to be healthier. She wants Americans to be healthier, right? Yet she's choosing the president that has no plan to fucking fix the health crisis. He actually wants Americans to be fit, to be skinny. She wants Americans to be skinnier, fitter, right? But she's willing to give up her own. She's willing to go against what's in her own self-interest simply because I want to be able to kill her children. Even though she's not going to be having any children anytime soon, so I don't get what's the problem.
I mean, Kamala has never had any children, so she really has nothing to lose to it.
Yeah, they have nothing to lose. But this family, I watched earlier on where JD Vance effectively was basically talking, right? Basically answering questions, right? He just voted, right? And he was talking about his family, how he loves his family, he loves his kids. You're never going to see that from Kamala because she doesn't have any kids. She's not a mom. She's a stepmom, and she doesn't give it. She probably doesn't. And her kids are one of the kids is in the fucking 20s, another one's fucking 15, already grown up.
So it's like the real mom
already. Kids.
The real mom did the work already.
And the real mom did the work. You did fucking nothing. All you did was be a home wrecker.
Exactly. I mean, bro, first she was a home wrecker for Willie Brown. Now she was a home wrecker.
Yes, home wrecker for everyone else. God, she'll be wrecking a lot. I can guarantee you, she's going to be the cause of a lot of divorces.
Yeah, in all seriousness, though, it's Kamala. Seriously, she does not.
She will seriously be the cause. If she gets in, she'll be the cause of so many divorces. You'd be surprised.
I mean, let's be honest, bro. Kamala, that guy that she's with, bro. He decided to settle for Kamala because he's
a Jew.
Yeah.
And he's not one of the bad good Jews. He's a bad Jew.
I thought
there are bad Jews and there are good Jews. The good Jews are siding with Trump. The bad ones are siding with the other ones.
I really
a lot of let me just say this: the everyday Jews, right? Not the billionaires, right? The everyday Jews actually what generally do well in this country, right? They're siding with Trump, right?
Yeah.
The everyday, I'm talking about the everyday ones. I'm talking about the ones that are freaking on the poverty line. I'm talking about the ones that are middle class, right? They're not rich, like these fucking like Pritzker and all these cunts, right? But they're not broke. They're doing quite well for themselves. Middle class, upper middle class.
Yeah, I'd say
100 to 200 grand a year, something like that, right? Executives, CEOs, lawyers, accountants, finance guys, right?
Personally, I didn't know her husband was
upwards of that level, right? But yeah, they're people that want. They realize I have stocks, right? I have shares in a firm, right? And with Kamala's tax policies, I'm effectively going to be paying more. I'm going to be shafted, and effectively, I can't profit off my company. My hard-working labor.
I'll be honest, I really just thought he was a white dude, bro. I didn't know he was Jew.
Nope. Jew.
Supposedly,
he wants to make the White House a Jewish house. If it hasn't already.
I'll be honest.
He wants to put on some. He supposedly wants to put. He said he's going to put some Jewish charm thing if he gets in the White House or something like that. Make it a Jewish house or something like that.
Well, then
he's not the first Jew to be in the White House, by the way. There's multiple. Honestly, I personally think I can see him. I can see America breaking into. I can see it. I can't see it happening soon, but to be realistically, there's that much a fucking divide. I can't see why they wouldn't break into two. Like say, but the South would struggle. The South would struggle. They're not as bad. They think that the South would struggle. They're not as bad as what you think. The South controls most of the military. The South controls most of the agriculture and the food. The South controls most of the electronic grids and most of the tech companies. Most of the manufacturing, most of the big companies are in the South. Most of the car factories in the South. Like, all you've got is a bunch of fucking low-wage, high-wage tech jobs, right, in Silicon Valley, right? But let's be real here. Silicon Valley is a shithole. Most people, you don't need a massive tech hub like Silicon Valley anymore, right? You don't need a massive Hollywood studio place like Hollywood, right? These people are moving out to fucking cheaper states and Republican states mostly, right? Because they realize, like, We don't want to deal. They don't want to deal with unions. The unions are fucking terrible. They freaking rob you.
You
They
know what?
ask, "Oh, we're not getting paid enough." Even Walt Disney used to love unions, right? Until they started fucking turning on being a dick, being dicks, and then they just said, "You know what? Fuck you. You're my employees. I hire you to do a job. I'm not gonna freaking kiss your ass." Like Walt was an interesting guy, right? Disney's not even the same company anymore. It's just an IP farm. But yeah, what else is there?
I do wonder though, if the United States does break up into two, who will be the leader of these two?
I think one will become a kingdom, probably be a kingdom, and I'm pretty sure one will be a kingdom. One will probably mostly be governed by the South, the southern part of the United States, which would be probably Florida and that. My personal opinion, I think they'll have a monarchy, right? Mostly have a monarchy or some monarchy type family, have some form of monarchy. Most likely, probably going to be Trump's family, the Trumps.
So like pretty.
I think they'll probably
So with the okay, so
there'll
like
be like he would possibly. I think he might be a figurehead role. He might not have full power, but I think it'll be like a constitutional monarchy where he basically helps reign decisions, right? But he doesn't have full control. There's still going to be a prime minister, and there'll probably still be someone that has to freaking. I think it'll be something similar to the UK, if I'm being honest, right? He has some powers, but most of the power comes from the Congress and that, right? From the elected people of the Congress.
like throughout time, like each
Yes, over time it'll just be a figurehead role, effectively like the UK. What supposedly, but yeah, effectively it'll be like I think the Southern it'll be a kingdom, right? I don't know what it'll be. It might be the Kingdom of America or something like that, or something like that. But it will effectively be the Trump family will effectively be a monarchy, right? But there'll be a figurehead role, right? They'll probably have power over behind the scenes, right? But mostly it'll look like it's being run by the everyday people. Supposedly, yes. And the other one will probably be some type of probably which I would say is probably New York and the despot from some socialist hellhole. That's what I suspect. Supposedly giving the impression, or the Democrat Party might even split into two, right? It might have a conservative one, just a conservative right, but it might have it'll have a left leaning party and a right leaning party, right? But for all intents and purposes, the candidates will be pre-selected and pre-controlled, right? And effectively it'll all be completely controlled, right? And effectively there'll be no outcomes that'll surprise people. It'll effectively all be pre-scripted. It'll effectively just be a one-party state with two parties effectively giving the impression that it's a democracy when it's not really a democracy. So effectively a continuation of the status quo in America right now, but a little bit more authoritarian, a little bit more socialist, and a little bit more restricting on rights and freedoms. I still think America will probably the United Kingdom of America will probably have its own it'll probably still have a constitution that will have basic rights and that right to bear arms, freedom of speech, respect, and all that stuff, right? I think that's probably what's going to happen, but I could be wrong. I don't know what will happen. It'll be interesting to see. Only time will tell.
Yeah,
Yes, time will tell.
really only time will tell for the most part. I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised if the way things are going, I would not be surprised if there's a kingdom in America. I think Canada and parts of Canada, I think would probably join this empire, this new kingdom as well.
I'll be honest. Do you think this whole thing would give Kennedy the cannonball he needs if he ever wants to, run again?
I think you'll realize how what with Trump. If this doesn't work out with Trump. What are you saying here?
I mean, I'm just saying because it's he's working with Trump right now, isn't he?
Right now, but I will say this: if Trump doesn't get elected, right, they've got Kamala, for fuck's sake, dude. Kamala's going to go. Kamala Wells' administration is going to go heavy after this guy. They're going to fucking put this bloke in prison. They're going to put Elon in prison. They're going to put all these guys in prison. Trust me. And I'm going to be brutally honest. That's what they're planning on doing.
Yeah.
Because they're going to put him in prison. He's never going to get fucking see the light of day. As far as the Democrats are concerned, he's a fucking traitor to them. And they'll probably throw him in jail.
So yeah, pretty much what I'm trying to say is
if Trump doesn't get elected, Elon's probably going to go to jail. If not, he's going to fucking lose everything. Yeah. If Elon doesn't get if Trump doesn't get elected, Elon's life is fucked. He's going to go to jail.
Yeah, I can.
Tulsi Gabbard, I can guarantee, is probably going to get chucked in jail as well. Don't get me wrong; they're not going to do it at the
With what
start.
evidence?
They're not going to do it at the start. They're going to fucking trump up some fucking bullshit charges. They're going to put the guy into fucking court, go put him through the fucking weird racket that he did Trump, and then at some point they're going to find him guilty of some bullshit like the Andrew Tate in Romania. That's where it's going.
Yeah, I can honestly see that happening.
That's
Unfortunately,
what's going to happen. And then effectively you're going to basically just have a banana republic. That's where it's going, I'm afraid. If he doesn't get in. Trump doesn't get in, that's where it's going. But it's probably where it's going.
for the most part, well,
Yeah.
all we can do is really wait and see what.
All we can do is wait and see what happens. All we know is that the world will never be the same. America will never be the same. The US will never be the same after this election.
It won't.
It won't. I know for a fact it won't. There'll be a final call dead in the coffin. There'll be a precedent set. Something will be shown, and effectively, elections will never be viewed in the same light. If whatever I think is going to happen is going to happen. Elections won't be viewed in the same light. This will be effectively it'll prove to us all that everything is fully staged. You have no say, and everything is controlled by the elite.
The world is a stage.
Yes, I've long suspected that we've not had really don't really have a fucking say, but if things happen where I think it's going to happen, it'll prove to me. It'll give me enough proof as it is, but I know how things work.
Yeah,
it's effectively bulletproof proof. It's been proof. There's proof that that they cheated in World Cup 2020, but this is going to be blatant proof to anybody. The Democrats can't even see this, right? Then they're done. But every Republican can see it. Every Libertarian can see it, and most of us can see it.
Yeah. And I'll say it's like John May says, man. This world's a stage, man. It's like it is
a stage, but we need to. It's finally going to be revealed to the vast majority that it's a stage. Trump said, "If I win, I'm going to tell you something. Tell you a secret."
That's interesting.
That's if he wins.
Now I'm interested, bro. I want to.
I think his secret is that we've got these guys on tape doing something terrible or something like that. Or we know who we're gonna arrest.
I'm not gonna lie.
I was curious to know what he was gonna say, but if Trump never gets elected, I might never see what he was gonna say.
Okay, and I'm not gonna lie to you.
There's a lot of like me and Matt Gaetz or something. I've got a secret to tell you.
Wow,
I feel like that.
I didn't know
he tell you after the election or something like that.
I didn't know he said that.
Maybe it might be Matt Gaetz. I think it was JD or something, but I think it's Matt Gaetz or something like Matt Gaetz or something like that. I've got a secret to tell you.
I'm not gonna lie.
I'll tell you after the election if we win the election. If we don't win the election, then we're not gonna know. But I'm curious to know what he's got on them, right?
No, I'm not.
Do you remember the freaking note that he had that they handed everybody handed all the former presidents when George Bush Senior died, right? Everybody got all presidents and all important people got white notes.
I wonder what those white notes said.
I'm sorry, he knows.
That's what it said. That's what the white.
I'm guessing that is Trump knows or something like that.
Of course, Trump knows, man. And also, I'm not gonna lie.
It didn't say that, but it said like someone knows. Because supposedly Trump left before he even got one of those things, right? So
I'll be 100% honest, man. I'm not gonna lie. If he
there's
really has some
clear instances of voter fraud, right? There's people supposedly being told that they've already cast their ballot when they didn't cast their ballot. There's people that literally had fraud ballots, right? There's been voting machines that haven't been working, right? And there's people saying, we're going to if you leave now, we'll fucking fix the thing later, right? We'll cast your votes for you later. We'll effectively put the votes in. We'll cast them as they are, but you cast them, right? Later. Hell am I fucking doing that? Oh my god, the chances you're probably going to put Kamala in. I'm not doing that until you fucking cast my vote. Supposedly there was like 19,000 votes or something like that, but we're literally, I can't remember, I think it was like, that supposedly were freaking have mistakes or something like that on it. So they're going to double check the votes, they're going to call people to see if these votes are actually real, right?
Oh yeah.
Double check, see if these votes are real or something like that. And they are, they'll count them. But
Also, as for that, if Trump and Vance backs out as soon as they get elected, man, that's going to be disappointing on what they have to say.
why would they back out?
I don't know. I don't know, bro. It's like, Trump is somewhat backtracked before in this election. Like,
Don't get me wrong. I think there'll be some certain things that he'll fucking backtrack on, but I think he actually does want to fucking fix the food issue in America, right? It's becoming a problem, right? It's starting to cost America a fucking fortune in healthcare and that, right? Like the healthcare bills, right? There's a lot of stuff and dyes and shit about your food, right? That European countries will never allow, right? Why the hell are they using the same stuff that we eat for our food, right? It's a little bit healthier, but it's not exactly great.
yeah.
To a
Not,
certain extent, the stuff could be more healthier in Europe, if I'm being honest as well. I think our food safety standards have fallen dramatically.
yep, that's why we got to make America healthy again.
Yes, very true.
Yeah, I mean, like, shoot, Kennedy's talking about it too. He's like, make America healthy again, and I agree. It's like we have
Yeah,
a
we've
lot
got
of.
fucking weird food chemicals in the food, right? We've got chemicals that are killing people, right? We've got cancer causing chemicals in like fucking toothpaste. We've got cancer causing chemicals in your fucking Oreos and your Pringles and your like freaking Skittles. And you got stuff like the Skittles and that cause ADHD and all that, right? It's cheap. It's just cheap materials and that, right? But literally that cost less, right? But are causing massive effects to health.
Nothing is safe to eat.
Nothing is safe to eat. Food's not. There's no food, right? And then as soon as you got, and the reason why the Amish are voting him because they're sick and tired of the farmers being targeted by the fucking state. Like, protect the fucking farmers. We want our farm. These people have been growing land for decades, right? They want to grow food, right? They want to. They don't want the state involved in their business. They've been self-sufficient for decades, right? Why the hell do we want the state involved in our business? Fuck. The Amish have effectively kept to themselves, right, for decades, right? They were against war, the war in Iraq, but they realized, look, you're getting involved in our lives. We don't want government overreach. Did you hear about the whole thing with the squirrel?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I heard about. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm sad, but at the same time, squirrels die every single day.
yeah, but why the hell were you euthanizing the squirrel? The squirrel didn't do anything to you, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
It's like
It's like, yeah, why would they euthanize a squirrel?
I will say this. I think if Trump gets in, that we might be going for like another like freaking demonic like scare panic or something like that. Like they're going to go after heavily. Republicans get in, right? I think conservatives are going to go heavily after video games, violent video games.
What? I wouldn't mind. Honestly,
They're
I mean,
probably going to go after heavily amounts of porn and like freaking movies and that as well, to a certain extent. But let's be real here, like.
we gotta protect our children, man, and so it's like
Well, let's be real here. Video games like GTA, right? On do we really need that violence into kids, right? We probably should and we don't need violent movies, and that just gives.
I mean, yeah, I'll be honest. There's really no point in violent movies. I mean, they're not even really scary or that violent. I mean, maybe take a girl. I mean, maybe take your girlfriend to the movies if she's scared of it. But it's like, they're not scary.
Movies are weird.
Like, I don't know, kind of, you know,
Yeah,
you protect her in a way. But it's like that's about it. That's really the only benefit a scary movie can get you.
yeah.
But it's like, for the
I
most
think he
part,
wants to get woke out of academia as
good.
well.
We,
Wants to get woke out of movies. He wants to get woke out of video games.
I mean, yeah, I mean, good.
I think a lot of the news studios are actually starting to pivot because they realize after Trump, right, we're going to lose load of money, right? Because nobody else is going to watch our fake news because nobody trusts it, right? And Joe Rogan podcast has been a fucking godsend for Trump's campaign, right? He's gotten so much views off that, right? And he's gotten so much support from Rogan.
Yeah, I mean, he's got more views than Kamala did on Call Her Daddy.
Nobody wants that podcast though. But she only got 900 views, right? Rogan got like 40 million. So what does that tell you about Trump's the guy, right? He got 40 million views, right? Compared to Kamala, are only like million.
I still do believe there has to be more than just the presidency to wake up an entire generation.
So what do you think would do to wake up? I think a lot of Gen Z have actually decided to vote for Trump, right?
Yeah, I mean, there has to be more.
Starmer is supposedly trying to have the government create social media campaigns, right? Now, what does that tell you? He wants to try and brainwash UK kids on TikTok and get to the young youth that are trying to fucking get rid of masculinity, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, did you see that video? Did you see that video I sent where like the English where it said like they were forcing them to like learn about like the Prophet Muhammad and like Islam and like how they're proud to like just
It's
be
weird.
English.
Why is that like being taught in school?
I have no
I
idea.
saw that video. It's weird.
It really is. It's like it's like bro, just teach regular stuff in
Now
school.
that I think about it, Eric, I didn't know anything about fucking Caesar. I didn't know anything about like fucking Gaius Octavius Caesar, and the fact that the Augustus and that, right? We were never taught anything about history, right? We never taught about Lady Jane Grey. We never taught about anything about Edward II or any of these kings and that, right?
Right.
You were never taught about Alistair Cromwell, Oliver Cromwell, right? And the fact that he fucking destroyed the fucking he got rid of the crown, right? Effectively, he created a civil war, right? He created a civil war, he won, right? He demolished the monarchy, right? And then as soon as he died, they re-brought Oliver Cromwell back. They brought the king back, right? Nobody talks about that.
Of course,
In
no.
fact, there's a guy that fucking got rid of the monarchy.
What'd you say?
There's a guy that got rid of the monarchy, right? And then all they do is like, there's a guy called Oliver Cromwell, or that effectively got rid of the monarchy. Charles III, he was a freaking petulant child. He was that much of an evil dictator, right? He hated his government that much, right? So he was self-ruling, right? One of the kings that only self-ruled, one of the last kings that self-ruled, right? So effectively, he was basically controlling the army. He was controlling everybody. He was taxing everybody into oblivion. But the MPs in the government had a fucking enough and said, fuck you, and fucking drove him out of England. And made him go to freaking north and took hold of London, and basically made him have to flee to the north. Then we made him flee off that, and then we kicked him out of the north, and then we defeated him, and then he was exiled to a church, and then he came back, and then he was exiled again, and then he was gotten rid of, exiled again, gotten rid of.
It's crazy.
Yeah, nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about ancient history. Nobody talks about Julius Caesar and the fact that he literally conquered Britannia. He conquered Rome. He conquered Germany. He conquered modern day France, which is back then Gaul. And then he freaking and then had all his freaking people stabbed in the back with a knife, murdered the guy and that. And then he left a will, effectively leaving all his property, his assets, and all that stuff to his effectively adopted son, Gaius Octavius, who would eventually be named, who would effectively would fight with Mark Antony to effectively fight Mark Antony in a civil war to effectively become king of Rome. Mark Antony was Caesar's best friend, effectively. Just like Caesar, he fought this guy called Pompey, who was his friend as well, to take power. But Caesar effectively took on the status of Dictatus Araminus, which effectively made him dictator for life. Even though somehow some people would say in modern day world, was he really a dictator? But still questionable.
Everything is a question nowadays.
Yes.
Honestly, everything is
I
a
think
real.
if they would hit Caesar today, there's also got guys like Alexander the Great. Nobody talks about him.
Yeah,
I
don't think they talked about.
The guy that freaking took on and captured most of modern day, what would have been modern day Egypt, would have been modern day Iraq and Afghanistan and Baghdad, and effectively took a lot of Greece, and also he took a lot of the Persia. He even marched on India. And if he was still alive, he probably would have marched on Saudi Arabia before he passed away of an illness. He didn't leave an heir. He didn't leave an heir to his son. He didn't give his son the terror. He didn't leave his empire to his son. Basically said, I'll leave my legacy to the strongest of you. And it all started with infighting, and then the empire just got destroyed because of infighting. An empire that was so much territory was destroyed because of infighting. What else is there?
What else is there?
But damn. There we go. Countries with the most universities in the world's top 2,000. Number 34, Malaysia with 8.
What about us? What are we sitting at?
We're pretty high. That's for sure.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I can't tell.
Well, we'll find out.
Well, with Star Wars fucking taxing the fucking youth to fucking go to university, I think we'll be lower on the list soon, won't we?
Well, who knows? It's
I think
only
we will.
early days, and
I
money
think we
what makes
will.
the world go round.
It does.
I mean, I think the United States has more universities in the top 2,000 in the UK, and US tuition fees are absolutely astronomical.
Actually, before we get into that, I have heard of some news that Kamala was kind of was faking something. She was telling a family in Pennsylvania to go back inside their house so she could knock on the door, or something like that.
Oh, fake. Of
Hold
course.
on, let me
So
send it.
fake.
It's right here.
Wouldn't surprise me. She's fake as hell. Nobody trusts her. She's fake.
The guy, the Dems trust her.
Alright, number 33, 9.
Why does Israel have 9 universities? They're not even a big nation.
Yeah, but you know what they say, money what makes the world go round.
Plus, it's
Well, the amount of money that you're giving them, how can you say no?
plus it's Israel.
Yeah.
I'm not really that surprised it's Israel.
I'm not that big fan of Israel, to be honest, and I'm supposedly a Jew. I personally don't have any human connection to Israel. I don't want it to die, as I view all the nations in Britannia as our children. I don't exactly want Israel to die, but I don't exactly want them to bully people. I effectively think I view America as the oldest. I view Canada the second oldest. I view India the third oldest. I view Australia and New Zealand the last oldest. Whatever's left is affected. Israel's probably the youngest. It won't be like 50 years or something like that. Israel, ain't it? Or they're 60. When was Israel founded? 1950.
1940.
Okay, so yeah, it's the youngest. So what's the oldest American colony? What's the oldest British colony?
I
I'm
think,
suspicious it's America, but I could be wrong.
yeah, it would be America. Which was known as the 13 colonies.
Was that before India?
Yes, way before India.
We should have kept you guys. We should have treated you better. We had the opportunity. We would have been such a big empire. Fuck, did the punts there have to ruin things.
But here we are.
We could have been a massive empire. We could have controlled both sides of the fucking Atlantic and North. Could have been one together. We could have been a superpower. We could still can be a superpower. We will be a superpower. Do you think Britain's days of being a superpower behind it?
Yes.
Of course.
If we were to rejoin with America, would we still be a superpower, or are their days behind it?
I believe we'd be unstoppable, but we'd have to really be strategic on how we're going to do things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always thought about it, like, think about this, right? What if and let's say America, Canada, Britain, New Zealand, and Australia were to become one, right? We'd have a fucking dominant presence in Europe. We have a dominant presence in North America, where we'd effectively be able to fucking keep track of. We could effectively keep track of freaking Central America and keep them under check. Keep track of South America with Falkland. Keep track of Asia with Australia, and keep track of Eurasia, and we could be able to get in Oceania. Super powerful. Surprised. Is America an imperial empire?
It once was.
Still is an imperial empire. What are you on about?
It was once an empire.
America was once an empire.
Yes, they had territory, and they still do to this day.
They own more territory than us. What are you on about? They have military bases in every fucking continent. What are you on about?
Are you talking about now?
I'm talking about now. They're still powerful.
Yes, they are powerful.
They might have lost their freaking steam like us, but they're not freaking down and out yet.
They still have the leverage.
For now. They don't fucking pull their rear end out. They'll be fucking like me and us in Rome. Useless. Obsolete. And cannon fodder of Europe. Do you think Rome's days are long behind it of there?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Do you think Germany's days of empire are long behind it?
Yeah.
The way things are going, I think Germany might actually fucking become a fucking superpower again.
Did you guys hear that one song from this rapper called Will I Am? It's called Yes She Can.
What's it
Yes,
about?
you can what?
Who do you think? Yes, she can.
You can't do what?
Presidential.
Well,
I don't know. It was kind of a presidential song about Kamala Harris or something like that. It's like you know how that one song back.
that's what pisses me off. She's got all the fucking pedos on her fucking friends list.
Here's the thing. You know what? You know how in the early 2000s they made that song about Obama was like, my president is black. It's pretty much kind of the same thing, with Kamala Harris.
God, I'm cringe. Jesus. She's not even black, she's Indian. She hasn't even got the balls to admit she's Indian.
No, I'm pretty sure it was simply a song
As
about...
much as I want to say it, she is British. All Indians are British heritage. They've been that for back in decades.
Wow. So she's practically your countryman.
No, effectively British. Indians have been effectively... As much as they fucking hate it, I'm still giving them for British citizenship. They've been there for most of the Britain. Even though they hate it, Britain's been... India's effectively been British for a long, long time.
Huh.
And whatever descendants come from it. Any British colony, especially the main ones that have been under us for fucking 200 years, as much as they want to fucking hide it, they'll always be British. Even you lot. That fucking spinelessly changed your civilization. Your society is sufficiently just British, even if you pretend to use a different language. Even Indians use their own language. Singapore is effectively British as well. Singapore was nothing. Same with Malaysia, Indonesia. This was not effectively... Does Malaysia actually speak English?
They're proficient in English.
Why don't they speak English?
Because that's not their national language.
Fucking traitors.
Well, they had to speak something before English.
They're turncoats. Too many turncoats. But it is what it is.
And it was what it was.
Well, I'm not going to lie. Tomorrow it's going to be a movie on Twitter. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes, it will be.
It won't be happening. You won't going to get fucking anything until the day after, for 3 days, right? And then she's going to fucking say, "Oh, we won, guys, we won!" You cheated. There's instances of voter fraud.
No.
There's proof of ballots have been fucking forged and faked.
No.
There's truckloads of ballots, right? There'll be truckloads of ballots.
No.
They're going to cheat.
No, Kamala is not a cheater. She is
She is a cheater. She hasn't got anything going for her.
No, Kamala is a beautiful, independent woman. And, she has everything going for her, bro. Have you seen her achievements?
What? Started World War III? Let fucking illegals in so we could fucking rig elections?
No. She got the most
Started
powerful
World War III, rigged elections.
No. She got with the most powerful...
destroying the middle class. Or what's ever left of the everyday Americans. Fucking dwindling their savings, taxing them up the wazoo, and then promising to tax them up more.
And she claims to be middle class. Come from a middle class background,
middle class, my fucking arse. She's been inherited it, handed her entire fucking life.
Hey, just because she used Willie Brown to get to the top does not mean
it's not even that, Eric. She's been handed money her rest of her life. She's always been fucking rich. Her family was fucking rich. Her family probably profited off from India, right? Family wasn't poor, right? Her family probably inherited massive wealth from the British Empire from all those decades, right? Because remember, the Indians only got their freedom 100 years ago, right? Like how long has it been since India's got an independence? Was it the first or second war they got independence?
I believe second. Not sure.
It has to be second because what could be United States was the first of all the British colonies ever to gain independence.
Yeah, and that was about when did Canada get independence? Was that the 1800s?
Yeah, sort of in the late 1800s, I think.
Let's double check. So when was it?
Late 18.
When did Australia get independence?
I think it's somewhere like
1960s.
Could be the 60s roughly, or somewhere in the mid 20th century.
Speaking of which, yesterday we went over the amount, the top countries that have the most.
Oh yes,
and
porn stars per million inhabitants in each country.
Prague.
And surprise, Korea has
the least amount of porn stars per million.
Well, that's not fucking
people.
Surprising.
It's not.
Yeah.
A fucking moron.
Hey, man.
I'm surprised you're not fucking. So what were the fucking top 10 then? Fucking Prague, Russia, Ukraine,
Well, Czechia
Poland,
was certainly at the top of the list.
Ukraine.
Hungary was at the top of the is at the top of the list too.
For a country full of Christians, I'm surprised it's got tons of porn stars.
Yeah, I'm surprised too.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, Hungary's a very Christian country. Very conservative. Very Christian. Very Eastern European.
I'm a bit
Eastern
surprised.
Europeans have always been more religious than the Westerns, though.
You think most of them are just lukewarm Christians or something?
I think there are probably some, but I think probably some.
Yeah.
But you've got to realize these people, right? They were under oppression for fucking so long, right? Some of them probably just wanted to have some faith in something, right? Like they were under that much fucking controlled, right? These countries were literally vassal territories, right? They had no fucking real government. They had no real democracy. And to this day, they probably really don't really have real democracy, right? Like they never really had real democracy, right? Because Russia effectively took these guys under as patsy states. There's a buffer zone between them and NATO and the West. They say Russia. They say the Ukraine, the former Soviet states, are like freaking have independence, right? But there's a lot. If I'm being honest, I think that is just a lukewarm feeling. I think a lot of them still have a lot of contact, a lot of trade with Russia. A lot of them still probably have friendly terms with them, right? Apart from Poland. Poland's probably one of the only ones there that have a grudge with Russia. It's quite simply because Russia and Germany invaded them, did a let's say an unfriendly negotiation tactic, but effectively invaded. They at the same time they basically invaded and penetrated Poland's territory at the same time with a very powerful weapon. Then Poland became non-existent. Then the Polish government fled to frickin' Russia. How much power do you think the UK has over some of these old foreign Western countries that we helped bring back after World War II?
A decent amount.
Would you say that they're just vassal territories at this point?
To who?
UK, America, and Russia. Because let's be real here, like before it was Russia. Basically, the only people that really won that war that were left, right, were America, Britain, and Russia. Britain wasn't that much for wear, right? Russia and America were ready to go. Do you think Britain, as the scale it is now, do you think it could actually pull off an invasion again? Do you think Britain could pull off an invasion against America at the scale it is now?
No.
I don't think you. Do you think Starmer's going to go America into war?
No.
Really? The guy seems to be a prick. It seems like he wants to fucking piss off the Americans.
It may seem so, however, he's not going to just enact on it right away.
The guy's a fucking moron, Jamie. I've never met
that may be true
in my life than Keir Starmer.
Even
God,
that is the case.
How did he get elected? How the hell did anybody with a right fucking sense of mind elect this bloke?
Well, it came down to the fact that they were voting in whichever party that was not the Tories and had a chance or had a big enough platform to actually get into power. The rest is history.
No, I mean, how the hell did that tool, get elected by the Labour government? Or even get elected to Parliament? Not before he got elected Prime Minister. How did he get elected to Parliament?
To be the Labour leader.
Yes.
Right, okay, so he became Labour leader after Jeremy Corbyn was...
I would take Corbyn out over that prick. At least Corbyn had some morals. He actually generally seemed to care about people.
Well, last time I recalled, he didn't want to step down as Labour leader, but he had to anyway, because
he was ousted by the left, effectively. He was ousted by his own party. I don't think the activists forced it, frickin' ousted the bloke, right?
Yeah, I think to some extent he was ousted by people in the Labour Party.
No, we talked about the fact I think he was couped, exactly just like the rest, just like how the Democrats effectively soft couped Biden. Did you hear Fetterman, the podcast with Joe Rogan and Fetterman, right?
Where I haven't seen it.
The fact that we're basically swing states effectively alluded to what effectively Joe Rogan was saying, right? He basically criticised the Democrat Party effectively on their bill, effectively on the border bill, right? They tried to walk that narrative, right? And Rogan completely shattered that narrative the first 15 minutes.
Dang.
Basically trying to say, oh, but Trump didn't want to sign the border wall bill, right? And then
I
Biden
never
basically
thought
said,
he'd
well,
get
the
that
freaking
far.
bill basically said you had to freaking annex, you basically had to grant amnesty for 2 million fucking migrant illegals. And you effectively half the money wasn't even going to go to the fucking building the wall. It was going to go to freaking protecting Ukraine and Israel. How the hell's that benefit America? Mostly the bill. It was a border bill on paper. It said it's a border bill on the paper. The fact that it basically said, oh, it's a border bill. Even if it wasn't a border bill for America. Is that us or is there any more?
I think that is us.
Okay, well,